All right, everybody, welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountainland Supply. I'm Joey. I'm here with Brandon, our CEO.
What's up, everyone?
We're here with Spencer Shorts of Sorts.
Yeah, what is going on?
That's enough out of you. And today we are joined by Miss Cyndie Keetch.
Well, hello.
Where's the chairs? Come on, Spencer. On top of that.
Yeah, let me get it for you.
Oh, man.
You didn't have
What
a
a crap producer you are today,
I was
dude.
trying to mute my mic and check the
Thank
levels.
you,
all
thank
right?
you.
Okay, appreciate that.
I was talking to someone today, this past weekend, and they were talking about how they do a podcast as well. And they were asking if their producer's on, and they talk to them. You know, like they talk to her, and I was like, we don't let ours talk. It's like, we don't want to hear that voice.
He's a liability at this point.
Yeah.
Dude. We don't know what he's going to come
Yeah,
up
we
with.
don't even, and they're like, well, does he do this? Does he do this? I'm like, I don't know. Like, apparently he doesn't know where the applause button is. So.
Okay, we don't use it that much, so I had to check all of them and then choose the one, you know?
Yeah.
You want a trombone? I can give you that. But I'm not going to do it.
You pissed him off now.
Oh,
talk
man.
about the right person, right seat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that. From Cyndie
How about an
Keetch.
applause on that one?
Yeah, that's
Yay! All right, we were closer on that one.
yeah.
So, Cyndie,
Yes, sir.
thank you for coming on.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We talked last week about bringing you on. You were a little bit pissed at me. I'm glad that
Little
you've gotten
bit.
over your anger.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Why would you be so angry about coming on this?
Because there's cameras in here.
Oh.
Yes, the cameras are intimidating.
No, they're not.
No. They sit right there. See?
Yeah.
Right.
You just wait till the camera. Hey,
They're not
well-
that big of a deal.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I decided to ignore them.
So-
Fine.
Well, I asked you if you watch the or if you listen to the podcast. Do you watch it or you listen to it?
I watch it.
Watch it, man. I want to know how many people watch this.
Well, I
I'm sure
usually
Shorts
have
could tell you.
it just next to my computer monitor, and I'll just let it run.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to it, and then
You peek over every once
when
in a while.
something cracks you up or
Yeah.
you need to look,
Something.
then I can watch it.
Somebody
Do
was
we
like,
do something
well,
that's funny? I mean, do we
every
crack you
once
up?
in a
I mean,
while.
oh man.
My mom likes it.
Uh,
Actually,
my mom
truth
says
be told, my mom hasn't even listened to it because I asked her the other day. She called me about something else, and I was like, "Hey, I was just curious. Do you ever listen to that podcast?" She's like, "What podcast? What's a podcast?" I'm like, "Never mind. All my emotions are just wound up in this whole thing, and it's gone now."
I don't even think my mom knows about it, but
Yeah, my mom doesn't, obviously. My dad stumbled across it because somehow, because he freaking shares my Apple Music account because he's too cheap to buy his own. Just like every other subscription in his
you're
life.
a good son. Good son.
Dude, he has my YouTube TV. He's got my Apple, obviously Apple One or whatever. He's got my Hulu. He's got my MLB.TV so he can watch the Yankees games. So he'll call me and be like, "Hey, what's our password to this?" Like, what's this our password? It's my password, you freaking...
Once you start paying towards this, then it can be R.
Yeah, exactly. When was the last time you put anything into this relationship?
He doesn't want to geek out.
No.
He has you.
He has me to do that for him.
Yeah.
So he stumbled across it because it came across his feed. And he's like, "Hey, I didn't know you guys were doing a podcast. That's kind of cool."
Did he listen to it though?
I don't know. He just commented on it. I doubt it. That would require some effort that he wasn't going to put in.
My brother came from Japan, I want to say a year ago. And we had mentioned the podcast.
Yeah.
And he's in school for business and listened to a few of them.
Yeah.
Super impressed.
Really?
I don't know if he still follows and still listens. I
Shorts
haven't
does a
asked
good
him in
job.
a long time, but
Yeah. Shorts does a good job.
he likes to see how the company was put together, how it's formed, how,
Yeah.
just the different decisions that are made.
I'm actually quite surprised how many people listen.
Yeah.
We joke about how we only have our moms listen to it.
Right.
And in reality, because I was at a conference just a few weeks ago and I got pulled to the side and two of our vendors reach out. Hey guys, thanks for listening.
Shout out, Moen. What up?
Shout out to you. But they were saying that, that they actually listen to our podcast. I'm like, that's just,
Like, all right, I guess I got
it
to
felt a little weird.
make a list of
No, you
people I
shouldn't
can't
feel
talk
weird.
crap about.
Oh, I know. we got to clean it up, I guess. We can't say
I'm not
anything
cleaning
about it.
anything up. This is unfiltered, man.
No, that's true.
Actually, it is filtered because did you buzz out that one swear word?
I did. Yeah,
He buzzed out your
Did
one
you?
swear.
Oh,
I did.
sorry, guys.
That's okay.
And it's funny because usually when we have people on here, I'm the one that's like, okay, remember, we got to keep this out PG rated.
Yeah, but then you got a little comfortable with it because Calvert hasn't been on here for a while.
We've had a few out there, but
I'll
we don't
try
want
to mind my manners.
we don't want to get
We
the
knew we were
MA
safe.
rating. So
Right.
Maybe we earn it.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I want it.
Shorts has been waiting for us to go mature for a while.
That's going to be the After Dark. Right. So we're going to record another one with you, Cyndie, after this for the After Dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have plenty of information.
So speaking of your brother, wondering how the company was composed, you have been here a while.
Yes.
And so you've seen a lot of iterations of Mountainland. So the first time that you worked at Mountainland, when did you start?
December 18th, 1989.
Damn, out of a holster.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Down
I
to
looked
the
at my
day.
plaque. I was a day off in my
Oh,
head. I thought it was the
December
19th, but it's the 18th.
1989.
Oh my gosh.
So do you know how many
Right out of
employees
high
were here?
school. 60-ish.
Yeah. So it didn't change much between then and when I started in
No.
early 2000s.
No. We were a tight-knit
Oh,
family.
for sure.
Yes.
I remember my first Christmas party, my first year, was at the Provo Marriott. And we didn't even fill up the whole ballroom.
That's when we were getting bigger.
Yeah.
We couldn't, I mean, we would
Because you
have
used
it
to
at
have them
like
here, didn't you?
Thanksgiving Point.
Yeah.
We had one at the Eagles Club.
Yeah. I remember with the Thanksgiving
the Elks
Point one.
Club. Yeah.
And Myron probably helped out with that one, huh? Yeah, I'll get you down to the Yellow
Yeah.
Elks Club. Yeah.
Yep. Actually, he did.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Old Spanky.
You know what he
Remember
told
when
me
we
the other
called
day?
him Spanky?
Oh, absolutely. He did not appreciate that either when I tried to use it. You know what he told me the other day?
What's up?
So, so Kathy Rasmussen passed away. We're very sorry about that. She's the wife of one of our founding fathers, Bob. So we were at the funeral where I
Right.
saw you, and I was talking to Myron about. He's like, "I'm going to keep Bob busy," and I was like, "Yeah, well, that's nice of you." I said, "What are you going to do?" We're going to go down to. He has a condo in Mesquite. Bob has one in Hurricane.
Right.
And I said, "You going to hit Vegas while you're down there?" He says, "Oh," and he starts laughing. He's like, "I can't go down there. I've been working way too long to stay clean. I'm cleaner than a Safeway chicken." Who the hell even says that?
Oh,
I'm cleaner
I
than a
love
Safeway chicken.
Myron.
Hold on. You're saying who in the hell says that?
I mean, I
Of
would
all
say
the
it.
people, of all the people that would say
That's
that.
a new one, though. I'm going to use that from here on out. Man, I'm cleaner than a Safeway chicken. He said they used to have that on their advertisement. You come get your chickens from Safeway because they're the cleanest in town. And so they'd say cleaner than a Safeway chicken, which Bob came from Safeway.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Myron recruited Bob from Safeway because they were Army buddies. We need to have Bob on.
Yeah,
we
we
should have
do.
Myron on, too. That'd be fun.
So, fun fact
Yeah.
when I was younger, I grew up on the south end of Provo,
Yeah. So pro.
and we would ride our bicycles or walk to the park on 5th West.
Oh, yeah.
And
Kitty corner from
we
the
would
old
pass
store.
this building about halfway, and it had a hydrant outside so we could get a drink of water.
Oh, really?
And I would stop there and get a drink of water, and I remember this older lady that would come out and just chase us away.
Really?
Get out of that water, you're going to make a mess. And come to find out that was Lorna Atwood,
No
and
way.
that was Mountainland Plumbing.
Oh, that you stopped at? It was
Yes.
right by that store?
Yep.
Oh,
That's
my
where we
heck,
stopped
that's
and got
hilarious.
drinks. Yeah,
That is
drink of water.
hilarious. Yeah.
So it all
If you drink
kind of has
anything in
come
So
full
Pro
circle.
today, you're going to need a tetanus shot afterwards.
Amen.
No offense, anybody listens to So
You're going to
Pro.
have to get your antibiotics from Mexico.
Oh, 100%.
Sorry, Lewis and Lorley.
I mean, they're like West Provo. They're the uppity people now.
Well, I was a couple blocks from them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, but you both moved out, so you don't have any room to talk anymore.
Okay.
You still have family in Provo?
No.
Okay. See? Nobody's offended.
Okay.
Unless it's somebody out there in windshield wiper land pissed off at me now. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
I digress.
So hold on. If you grew up in South Provo, how did you meet Brandon?
Here at Mountainland.
Oh, was it here? Okay.
Mountainland Sweethearts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We have the Legends board right here.
Oh, yeah.
Should we make one that's the Sweetheart board?
There would be
Back in
quite
the
a few
day,
people.
yeah, we had a ton of Mountainland romances back in the day.
Exactly.
There was a ton.
Good and bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know many that were bad, actually. Like Dale and Whitney met here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You two met here.
Lance and his second wife,
Yeah.
first wife.
Yeah, so there's a bunch out there.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, if
should-
you gave me a minute, I could make a list.
Should we start an app now? A dating app?
No.
Mountainland.
No.
Mountainland Tinder.
Oh man, could you imagine? Oh god.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking what are we doing next? Well, we're going to get into the dating game.
Yeah, might as well.
We're going to create a
I don't know why we
dating app. Shorts, you in charge of that?
Yeah, it'll be real good.
Real good.
Real good.
So when you first started at Mountainland, what was your first job?
purchasing with Larry Skinner and Tim Kuchar.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So did you start as like doing local procurements, or what did you do? Just everything?
Well, back in '89, we had POs that were handwritten,
Crazy.
and they would check a PO out of the PO box, in the little ledger. They'd fill it out, and then they'd bring it back to me, and I would enter it in the computer.
Yeah.
And so...
And then fax it over and all that
yes,
stuff.
I kept track of
So
lot
were
of
we
that.
doing paper tickets back then too?
Yes.
Okay.
And Bob and Brent would do the entry on the tickets. If they got behind, then I would jump in and help do that.
Yeah, back then you had to wear a lot of hats.
Yes. And
It
that's
was-
why I have had so many jobs.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I was just eager to learn.
Yeah.
I wanted to know why this position was this or
Yeah.
why this one worked this way. And so I kind of bounced around a lot between purchasing, and then I did some AP, invoice approval kind of thing, matching up the packing slips. And,
Yeah.
and
Variances.
then I went to the counter. No, I think I went and did a few years in credit.
Yeah.
That was my first stint in credit. And then I went out to the counter. I wanted to go work on the parts counter and see how it worked, and I loved that. I loved the counter.
There's moving and shaking out there.
Mm-hmm.
Your days go by way fast.
Way fast.
Yeah.
And you get to know the customers, which is the best part.
They're awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then my Brandon thing happened, so
My Brandon thing.
I had to come back in because, I don't know, I didn't feel comfortable working in the warehouse with him.
Was
I didn't want
was he doing
anybody.
dispatch? Or was he in the warehouse?
He was pulling tickets, I
Okay.
believe.
Ticket puller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you'd peek through the shelf and there he was.
You had to have some separation of church and state there?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
I just didn't want anybody to say we weren't doing our jobs
Sure.
when we were. So
Yeah.
to take that away, I came in and I did the call center for a couple years, kind of like inside sales, just taking all the phone
Yeah.
call orders.
Which was a lot like the counter. It was just over the phone.
Right. It was just the phone calls.
Yeah.
And then Brent needed me back in credit. So I went there and I spent a long time in the credit department.
Is that when you went into AR management?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a credit manager.
Because
think I
that's
did
where you
that.
were when I started, I
Oh,
think.
really?
I
Yeah.
think you
well,
were in
I've done many hats before that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sounds like it.
And you were in AR until when?
2012.
Yeah.
Okay, because I came in 2014.
Yeah.
January 2014.
And
I don't know the date.
Ellen
It's
was
like
in then.
January 29th, but
Yeah.
I know that Ellen was in there, but she was still fairly new.
Yeah.
And we were dealing with the Mountain States, Mountainland, and trying
yeah.
to do that whole hoopla,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
everything like that. But I always remembered hearing the Cyndie Keetch,
Yeah.
out there.
I so-called retired in
Yeah,
December of
tell
13,
people
right
about
before you
that.
came.
Okay.
Tell
So-
people about what you did.
Well, I wanted to be in nursing,
Yeah.
and so my husband was wonderful, and he supported me going back to school full-time.
Which was awesome,
Yes.
by the way.
I just went to school full-time and stayed at the college and studied my guts out and got straight A's and I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
During that time away, a lot.
Yeah.
I did a lot of hard things.
Hmm.
I'm a creature of habit.
You became a grandma during that time too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the nursing thing kind of took its dump when Weber State pulled out of the MTech.
Yeah.
So I had to ask myself what I really wanted to do. And going anywhere else was going to be $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
And at my age, I didn't want a $60,000 bill.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into medical assisting and was with a doctor for almost 6 years.
Yeah.
Amazing doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Owens.
Yeah.
So then
What did he practice, just out of
he was
curiosity?
a gastroenterologist.
Oh, okay.
We did a lot of hepatitis C treatments, a lot of liver, along with the colonoscopies and EGD things.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't say gastro and you're like, oh.
I think that was
GI
my face.
tract.
Yeah.
My GI
It's-
tract moved when you said that. Like, ugh.
I think I'm having IBS.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I'm having some phantom limb pains in my colon right now.
So some people don't know this. Like, I am not a medical person at all. Like, I have to come into Dr. Little to be able to get some advice here.
Oh, no.
About what, hey, instead of going to WebMD, I just come in here.
I am in
you're in
session
trouble.
constantly.
I'm
You
like,
are in
hey, I got
trouble.
this.
Well,
I
my
got
wife's
this.
a nurse, so I qualify by
That's true.
osmosis a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Like no bit.
Just like I'm an attorney because I've looked at so many contracts.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
So then Ben needed me.
Yep.
You guys had grown so much in the previous few years that the queues were kind of out of control.
Wildly. Yep.
So he brought me back to clean up some queues. So
And that's what Cyndie's like. You're like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
That's what I tell. Like when Ben was talking to me, he's like, "Dude, what would you think if we could get Cyndie back?" I'm like, hell yeah."
Yep.
Like what can't you do? That's what's amazing is like you fit into tons of different roles because of your experience.
Right.
And like you said earlier, just your drive, to learn things,
Yep.
And most recently, you've been working with Truck Outfitters, right?
yeah, so I worked with Ben for almost 2 years, and then I went over to Truck Outfitters and cleaned up their books. They hadn't had any kind of an accounting team.
Yeah.
Or SOPs or anything.
Right.
Yep.
So set that up. They're fit as a fiddle now.
And now they're good. So now on to the next
So
adventure.
now I'm on to the next adventure. Now I'm going to purchasing with Matt Scott,
Yeah.
and hopefully I can go do some good there.
Well, and this is like
Full
full
circle.
circle.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
coming back to it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And we're freaking excited.
Yeah.
Like
Good.
Matt was way more excited than we were when he was asking about it, but man, this is going to be freaking awesome.
I'm
I'm-
excited.
And you look at this inventory department that we're kind of putting together. I mean, it's not, in the past, it's just been purchasing, right?
Right.
And now we're creating this inventory that encompasses purchasing, but it has inventory control and pricing.
Mhm.
And it's all going to be, and Matt Scott's in charge of it. And I think I love our company because of this, because I had the opportunity to come into a finance department and kind of say, hey, we have a finance department, but I get to put my my fingerprint on this, and I get to push it in a way that, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And this is, I view inventory as one of those departments that we're going to see that we're just barely starting this off. And in the next few years, it's going to be something that's going to be phenomenal. And you get to have
agree.
your fingerprint on this to say, hey, I did that. There's still things that, even for me today, that I see that come through the financial side. And I'm just like, oh, I remember when I created that, or I remember I did that. And let me give you some background why we do the thing that we do. And, it's just kind of interesting. It's kind of fun to say, yeah, that was, I had a piece in that. And I'm excited for you guys because you and Matt and that whole team, we got Duncan over there and the whole purchasing department, you guys are going to be able to have that experience and just say, look at what we get to do.
You know what else I'm actually looking forward to is for you going back there and being like, you know what, let's get back to basics on some stuff.
Yeah.
Like being able to look at things and say, well, maybe we've overcomplicated that. Maybe if we dialed it back to where, because you have experience doing it, a while ago. So it'd be like, I don't know, maybe it won't happen that way. But we constantly look at things and we're like, man, how can we just simplify this?
Right.
How can we just dial this back so it's cleaner,
Well, I'm excited to work with Matt. I think of all the managers, if I had to work in a division or a department,
Yeah.
it's Matt Scott.
He's a freaking rock star.
Right. He is.
And he's got his ass on fire right now. He's feeling his oats. It's fun to watch.
So we just had a meeting yesterday that was with our executive team and all the directors, the senior directors, and Matt was in there
on fire.
and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
Good.
awesome to just hear him and just talking about the inventory and everything that, what's going on and where we're going with this. And
Yeah, he's got some crazy enthusiasm. It's fun to watch.
oh man,
Sometimes I think I'd like to be a fly on the wall in some of those meetings, and some of them I'm like, no, I don't want to be there. I don't want to know.
that one wasn't a bad one.
No,
It was
it was
actually
No,
It's
really
I
long.
no, I think it would be interesting. Just
But there
to-
are some that I
hear.
get pretty interesting sometimes.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. Like with our executive team,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we don't fight at
No,
all.
it's
We've never had
spirited.
huge disagreements and where it's just, go to blows, but there's passion sometimes.
Yeah.
There are people that are very passionate about certain ideas and there will be opposing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not everything. When we walk out of that door, we're in lockstep with each other. But behind that door, as we're trying to figure out, there's sometimes opposing views, and it's the passion comes out.
Yeah.
And
But
which is
great
good.
ideas created there as well.
Exactly.
That would be
Oh.
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think, speaking of this, I'm going down a tangent now, but one of the very first, when this team came together, Joey and I were on opposite sides one time, and it was during one of our 2-day annuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a whole day.
We went out for 4 hours back
Yeah.
and forth.
It was him and I,
Debating
and we were digging our heels in, both of us on opposite sides. And then I think we went to dinner, and I said, hey, I'm going to ride with Joey.
Yeah.
And just him and I rode, and we just kind of talked it through without everybody else there. And we came to an agreement like,
Yeah.
hey, this is probably the best where it needs to be. But
No, it worked out good.
yeah, it did.
Flushed it out, came up with a good solution.
But that was right at the beginning of our relationship where we kind of started saying, okay, how is this going to work? And
Yeah.
anyways, it was
Well, you
kinda
have to learn
just
to
good.
give and take.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's just like a marriage. We go to couple therapy. I don't know if you know that. Like marriage therapy.
Well, I wouldn't
for
be
sure.
surprised with Joey.
You guys want to sign up for Mountainland Tinder?
No.
What's wrong with you, shorts?
No.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a good meeting. It kind of launched us into a good pace for the kind of that new executive team that we had formed. So it was good.
Yeah, it was that's where we kind of decided that I got to be careful how I say some things here. We had examples prior to us of relationships that hadn't worked well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so we going into this, you're kind of seeing it's like, okay, we cannot go down that path. We need to make sure that we go down this other path. And to be able to do that, we have to have an open line of communication. We need to be open and honest with each other. And
Just like a marriage.
Yeah,
honestly.
it really is.
Yeah, you got to just stay. You have to care enough about the other person to talk to them.
Yeah. Joey's my work wife. I don't know. If
Well,
Yeah.
you're here together almost more than you are with your spouses. So
Yeah.
Waking hours.
Waking
yeah.
hours,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
we are.
Yeah.
you can't be afraid to have your own opinion.
No. And respect the other persons at the same time.
Yep.
So you know this because you've watched the podcast, but if you could say some word of advice to somebody who's just starting at Mountainland or is maybe hasn't just started, but they're trying to kind of navigate their way through, what advice would you give them?
No question is a stupid question.
Oh,
Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know something, ask somebody.
yeah.
I mean, it could be with any aspect. It could be parts on the counter. It could be a process. It could be anything. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to learn.
That's freaking awesome.
And keep your head down like everybody else says. Just go to work. Just do your job.
Yeah.
Amen.
You know what, though? I think that is awesome advice about just don't be afraid to ask a question, because I personally, for a long time, I was afraid to ask questions because I didn't want to be perceived as dumb or not being quick enough or whatever. But that's completely wrong.
It is completely wrong. Just because of the family that we have, that we've created, there's no reason to feel stupid.
No, we're here to help each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that advice because I've been in that same situation too, where it's like, oh, I don't want to ask a question because, but I'm going to take that a little bit step farther, and I'm going to say to our supervisors and our supervisors, our managers, our leaders out there too, remember, no question is a stupid question.
Yeah.
Don't
Honor it.
when someone comes and asks you, there's no stupid question. And I think we do a pretty dang good job with that.
I do too.
But I think there's a handful out there that, and it's not,
Well, you get locked in a process.
or something else is going on.
Yep.
I have an external pressure here that, something at home and it's just making me, I don't have enough patience or anything like that. Remember, everybody just, all they want to do is learn. And they
Yeah.
want to
Slow down and take the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I haven't ever seen a problem with that.
Yeah.
They've always taken time when I've needed it. So
There's a person at the end of every process.
there
Yep.
is.
And you just have to, if somebody cares enough to ask a question, you should really care enough to give them an honest
Absolutely.
answer.
Yeah. And again, I don't think we have a rampant problem with that
That's
in
just
our
something to always
culture.
remember.
But it's just a good reminder to
Yeah.
our leaders out there. Hey, no stupid question out there.
Yeah.
No question is stupid.
Awesome.
I like that.
You got any parting shots?
No.
Any shout outs to anyone?
Want to tell somebody to, pound sand? It's a great forum for
No.
it. Wait till after the mics go down.
Shout out to the hubs.
Yeah. We love Bud.
We love Bud.
He's our favorite Bud.
Thanks for that, Spence.
All right. You're off the hook now.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Cyndie. Thanks for coming in.
No
Thanks,
problem.
everybody out there, and enjoy the ride. We'll see you down the road.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.